Alrighty. Cool. Well, with online meetings, we'll probably have a fair few people morning surge streaming in as we get started, but we might as well get underway. So obviously, welcome. This is a TNG Online Connect. So created as a resource for TNG members, an opportunity to hear from some speakers across the network, across the region, and obviously as a tool to network with some people you would normally see in your groups. So that's what TNG Connect is all about. And we've had some epic speakers. We've got Tibor speaking today, but we've had business coaches, sports people, entrepreneurs, all sorts. And obviously the whole purpose of this is education and learning. So if there is an industry or someone you want to hear from, I know Mark is very well connected, and so is Melanie. So there's definitely opportunities to scour the network. I mean, running a networker group, you probably would be expected to know lots of people. So if there's an area that you're keen to learn from, or in your own respective TNG groups, if there's an area you want to learn about, then please let Melanie or the team know so we can make that happen. But in terms of the run of today, so obviously we'll let Tibor rule the room for about 30 minutes, and I'll just ask if you just mute yourselves while Tibor's speaking, and then we'll do a Q&A session afterwards. And then you can do a quick wrap around the room, 60 seconds, introduce yourself, what you do, and that sort of thing. But on to Tibor himself. So, what he's going to be talking about today is achieving consistency in business. So we're all in business for one reason or another, but consistency definitely helps. So, sharing practical strategies for overcoming daily challenges to, stimulate business improvement and development, and help you take immediate action and implement these changes that, arguably really work. So as a sportsman and a coach, and, the discipline that goes into that, there's definitely a lot to share. So I'll just pass the microphone per se on to Tibor. So take it away.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you very much for that. I will share my screen. So just bear with me while I go through these. So the first one that I'm going to be sharing with you it's called the hierarchy of needs of a business. And before I go into the full presentation, this is just to give you an idea. By the way, can all of you see it? Excellent. Cool. This is the hierarchy that every single business goes through in its life. We start off with the bottom, which is the sales side, and that is about you collecting cash as quickly as you can so that you can go to the next phase, which is actually being in profit and actually starting to create that stability into your business. The step after that is the order of your business, and that's about creating efficiency. That's creating your structures, your systems, and everything else. After that, so that's the get phase of any business, and most businesses that I deal with are in the first three categories. After that, you actually start making impact, and that is where the transformation starts happening, where you in your business can start impacting the community and everybody else around as such. And obviously legacy is the permanence. That's where you've got long-term exposure in the markets. We can use a company as an example like Fletcher's in New Zealand, any of those where they've got long-term permanence, and that's a legacy, and that's where their name is almost synonymous with whatever trade and or industry that they might be in. So I thought I'd just give you that as a bit of a background, and then we'll go on to the presentation right now.
Right.
So your consistent business, and that is getting out of the survival trap. Now, most businesses are in a survival trap, and I'll show you how to go through that. But just a little bit about me. I was born in Amsterdam. My parents moved to South Africa when I was a young kid, and therefore grew up there. I played underwater hockey and eventually became a world champ. And also at the same time, I ran a 3-partner chartered accountancy practice back in South Africa. I moved to New Zealand in 1998. And as earlier mentioned, I'm a Kiwi. I just didn't have the accent yet. So we'll move on there. I started my company, Better Business Strategies, in 2002. And in the interim, I'd met my wife, or girlfriend back then, but eventually married Elena, my wife, in 2004, and have 2 wonderful kids. And went into full-time business coaching in 2008. So, to the business of being consistent. These are the things that you need to be doing on a regular basis in order for you, if you look at the last line, it says, declare your month-long vacation. What that means is that you as a business owner should be able to take a whole month off your business and come back to it a month later and it's still being working if you have staff. And if you don't have staff, if you're an online business, it should still be ticking off in the background. So one of the most important things in the whole process is analyzing your business's time. I'll get to explaining each one of these very shortly. Declare your business's core role. What is it that you really, really, really do? Position your business to protect and serve the core role. So in other words, everything around what you do in your business should be about that core role. Capture systems and apply the trash, transfer, and trim method. I'll explain that very shortly. Balance your team. This is so important. Most business owners hire, well, not most, but a lot of business owners hire people without going through a proper system in order to make sure that you get the right person on board. Then also make sure that you direct your offering to a community, and then declare your month-long holiday. So that in the end is where most business owners should be aiming their business for, so that you can be consistent. Because if you can take a month-long holiday and come back to it, then you know that you've done it right. So the 4 Ds that is important in every single business: the doing. Executing of tasks is 80% of the time that needs to be happening. Making decisions and assigning actions is about 2% of the time. And delegating, in other words, making sure that the right outcomes are assigned to the right people, is about 8% of your time. And then designing, most importantly, every single business owner should spend time in creating the future. And that is therefore designing what your business should be looking like. It's about 10% of the time. So analyzing your business's time. Conduct a time analysis for each employee. So each employee needs to do certain tasks, and you need to understand as a business owner what the time is taken to complete each task and or service that they need to be able to deliver. That can be done through several methods of timekeeping. I don't know, some employees might think that it's trying to keep tabs on you, but it's more important that your business understands the time numbers, because once you get that right, you will know whether you are on the right course for growing the business in the right direction. Categorize the work type for each analysis. So in other words, you might have an employee that is multitasking, doing a lot of things, and is really inefficient. Would it be better to take somebody from a slightly different aspect of the business and doing some of the tasks, because the person that has been assigned the task might not be as competent for that role as others may be? So it's about making sure that those categories are properly analyzed. Then allocate minimally 1% of the entrepreneur's time to design work every single week. And as you then accumulate the time, you'll get up to that overall 10% that you need to get to. But it's so important that you, as the business owner, need to design what needs to happen in your business on a regular basis. Declaring your business's core role. This is, I think, where a lot of smaller businesses still struggle with the idea of what it is that they really offer. A lot of business owners get into the habit of somebody calls up and says, "Oh, can you do this?" Yes, of course we can. And it might not be the best strategy for that company, because the next phone call might be an even bigger project where your real core role and your real passion lies. and you've just allocated time to that. So it's about making sure around that. And this is basically what it says. Identify what makes your business distinct. Should be from the competition. I can't even write. From the competition. So that's a brand promise. In other words, that is what you need to be able to promise with your brand. And talking about brand, when you start building your brand, that is what the promise will be to people going forward who deal with you. If you say that you're going to do something, it needs to happen. Then identify the most important doing action that your business must do to support the business distinction. So if you say, for example, that you're the best accountant around, well, how are you the best accountant? A, you have very little problems with the IRD for your clients, as an example, or the financial accounts of your customers are done within 2 weeks of them receiving your financial information, or whatever it might be to make you very different. Now, for an example, as an example, a lot of accountants are now moving into the advisory space. What does advisory mean? Advisory in its top form means that you advise on everything in the business. And most accountants really can't deliver there because they are focused on the compliance side of a business. So when you step into that role, you need to make sure that you can actually deliver on the advisory side. So, but the important steps of doing the action, it's about making sure that your staff understand what it is that needs to happen to get the end result for your customer. Everybody that is associated with your business must know the core role, because serving the customer is one of the most important aspects of your business. Then you need to position your business to protect and serve the core role. So, as I said, you need to educate the team on the core role. What is it that you deliver, and make sure that that delivery is what is everybody that says, you've got better business strategies, you know how to help businesses. So if I don't deliver on that, people will talk about it and say, no, don't go to him, you won't get anywhere. So clearly identify the individuals and or resources serving the business core role. So once again, the selection of your team becomes a vital aspect of your delivery. If you don't have the right system in place to make sure that you're hiring the right people, you will have challenges going forward. And just on that point, if you tolerate mediocrity, your business is on the slippery slope to bankruptcy. With a lot of business owners that I've worked with in the past, a lot of them tolerate mediocrity. And that comes down to saying, well, never mind, we'll get it sorted out next time. And the employee does exactly the same thing again, because he knows he doesn't get hauled up on the performance of whatever that person was done. It needs to happen as quickly as possible so that you have the right systems in place to give people the heads up. And then it's either a question of, do they need more training? Are they right for the role? And a number of other aspects that you need to take into account to make sure that you've got the right people on board. Resources could be the right computers, the right motor vehicles, the right machinery for whatever your business is, to make sure that your core role is delivered. Trash, transfer, and trim to alleviate distraction from the core role and move the work to appropriate skill level. So what that means is cut out all the stuff that people do that they shouldn't be doing to the core role. Get somebody else to do that. There are virtual assistants that can come in and help people. There are people that you can contract as contractors as such to do certain aspects of your business that you need to have done. So, but it shouldn't fall on your employees to take them out of that role. So it's very important that you make sure that you analyze all of this stuff, and as I said, either trash, which means get rid of it if it doesn't serve the core role, transfer to somebody else, or trim to make sure that your key resources are serving the core role of your business. So capture systems and apply the trash, transfer, trim method. So use capture processes to collect all business systems. So in the past, those that are old enough, we all had these standard operating procedures in these thick manuals that you had to wade through to try and understand what you're expected. In today's modern society, especially in the production and process environments, take videos of what is expected to happen. An employee or somebody coming into a role can look at a video and understand exactly what needs to happen by just watching it, rather than having to read through all of it. And with our education being so dysfunctional nowadays, people just struggle to read anyway. But videos are a fantastic way to capture your business processes and systems. And use recording tools to capture work as it is done. That's the same thing, really. Even voice recordings can help people understand what they need to do on the role or in the role that they've been hired to do. Then balance your team. Match the strongest team member traits to tasks that need it most. As I said earlier, it is so important that the right people are hired to do specific roles and that it is focused on delivering the right thing for your customer. To find the additional and new right people when necessary, so that is creating a system that you put in place so that you can start attracting the right people as you grow. Very often people just go out into the marketplace and put out an ad and try and attract whoever they can. But if you've got the right system in place and people are really happy in their role, that becomes a self-serving way of attracting the right people. When your employees are so happy in their role, they will start speaking to their friends and family and anybody else to say, hey, look, we've got an opening. You ready to come and join us? And that's what you need to start developing in your business to make sure that you get the right people on board. And then also in the selling part of your business, constantly seek and resolve new bottlenecks. In the AC/DC system, it's attract the right people, convert them into clients, deliver what you're supposed to be doing, and then collect your money. Anything around that distracts from it will cause your business to suffer cash flow issues. And the death of most small businesses is the lack of cash. So make sure that the right people are in place, and especially in the selling department, that you've got the AC/DC system going, attract the right customers, convert them, deliver, and then collect. So the attraction is obviously your marketing. Your conversion is about selling the actual product or service to your customer. The deliver part is where you actually deliver in your core role, and of course the collect is collecting the money. Direct your offering to a community. This is very, very simple for certain types of businesses. It's about identifying your niche. There could be very different niches all around, and some niches can be so narrow and so small, but can be very lucrative. I know of a consulting person in America that's, I think he's got only 300 possible companies, but he's making well over $3 million a year out of that very small niche, because he's very specialized in that role. So these are the types of things that you need to start considering in your own business. Is there a niche that you can become a specialist in and market to that niche on its own? Those are one of the fastest ways that you can grow a business, is by niching down and not serving everybody, but serving a very, very narrow portion of the market. Then constantly amplify and improve your brand promise, which is served by your core role. So your brand, it's about getting that marketing done, making sure that your brand promise is accepted by everybody else through this process. Once you've successfully helped customers and they're ecstatic about the service and or product that they have received from you, get them to write testimonials, because that just builds on your brand promise in the longer term. Then declare your month-long vacation. So this is once you've gone through the process and you set up your little systems and you've identified your core role, it's about removing you as the owner from the business to break dependency of the business on you as the owner. So use smaller vacations throughout the year to test and improve along the way to your ultimate month-long vacation. So this is sort of like taking a long weekend off, or taking the Friday and a Monday off, making it a long weekend and leaving it to the staff and or the systems of your business to see whether it works. And do that 2 or 3 times a year. Then you take a week off and maybe then 2 weeks off. And then once you've got all those little niggles that eventually come out of those short stays away from your business, that's when you can actually declare, I'm going to take a month off in a year's time. I have 2 clients that have successfully done that. In fact, the one client has done it 3 times already, where he's taken a full month off, left it to the teams because the structure is everything in place. He's taken 3 different periods of the year, taken his whole family, phone is switched off, everything. When he came back, most things were running 100% right. There was obviously 1 or 2 niggles that always needed a business owner's input, but on the whole, the clients were served properly, the systems that worked in the business, and people were happy in general. In fact, most employees are very happy when the boss isn't around. It doesn't mean that they slack off. It just means that they actually don't get bugged by a business owner that wants to start tweaking things again. So also analyze and resolve failure points, test again with subsequent month-long vacations, and then, well, congratulations, you have achieved a consistent business. Right, so I have a no obligation chat about your business if you want any of these things resolved. And if I'm allowed to, there is a Regional Business Partners Network offer. There's a 3-month business review and planning package. At 10 grand, you can get up to 50% of it paid by Regional Business Partners Network. And that, my friends, is my talk for this morning. I'm open for questions.
Awesome. That was a great insight into some really useful steps, pretty much from the start to the get-go of business. It's business is all about systems, as I'm sure we are all well aware. Being in business is that you can be very excited, go get it, but if you don't have the systems in place to support it, then you're going to be in trouble. Does anyone have any questions for Tibor? And remember to raise your hand or unmute yourself. Yes. Gary.
Hi, sorry I was late. I had a previous meeting that went late, but yeah, I caught the last bit of it, so thank you. Thank you, Tibor. One question I have is for an online business that you're selling products online purely, what's the best way of getting those testimonials?
Generally with an online business, hi Gary, by the way, with an online business, you generally capture the email address of most people that order from you. The follow-up process should be about 7 days after the actual delivery date. You should contact the customer with a quick email saying, hey, Mr. Customer, have you received your product? And also, yeah, probably product, as you said. Are you satisfied with it? And if and you can add in at the same time, if you are satisfied with it, would you be happy to leave a testimonial? And here's something, Gary, that you can potentially think about is that if you do have a Google My Business account, that you add that into the link as well, because Google My Business is becoming stronger and stronger, and the more that you have of that, of those types of referrals where people connect through that, you can get a lot more opportunity for growth. But it's about the follow-up. You need to put a system in place where your follow-up happens to find out whether or not they were happy with the product.
Okay, awesome. I figured it was something like that, but I thought it's good to check. Thank you.
Did that help?
Yes, definitely.
Cool. Anybody else?
Melanie? I don't know if you're muted or not, or are you talking to someone in the background? Tibor, I've got a question.
Sure.
With small business, when it comes time to, hiring, growing, that sort of thing, it's often quite a big step for businesses to go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. Do you have any advice around how to pinpoint who to hire, or like how to go about that process?
All right. So one of the most important aspects of your business, as I said in the talk, is about designing what it needs to be. When you create a role, you have to know right from the start what that person is supposed to be doing, right? And clearly define every aspect of what that role should be. Because if you make it wishy-washy or fluffy as such, people generally lose the opportunity of becoming really effective because they have to do several things. If you clearly define and you can actually measure what they are supposed to be doing, the easiest step from there is to go to market, either via Seek and or even recruiters if you want to find that very specific person that can fill that role. If you just go to market and hire the next person down the road, the ultimate problem that you end up with is that you've got somebody who you think was good but wasn't really suited for the role that you want, and that leads to frustrations. And that is the most common issue with small business owners. Did that help, Dan?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's insightful. Thank you.
Cool.
I think it's not just having the wrong person. It's not just having the wrong person.
Oh, you got an echo in the background.
It could be one of the devices.
Okay, let's try again.
Yes, that's better.
Hear me? Okay, that's better. So I think it's not just getting the wrong person, it's the cost to a small, even a medium-sized business when you get the wrong person, that there's this deflation that you've got the wrong person and they aren't doing what you need them to do, and you're not getting what I would call the payback on those people, on that person or those people. But it's actually the cost to the business and having that person in there, and then they don't work. And what I see with a lot of small businesses, and Tibor, I'm sure it's the same, is they do it once and they don't do it again. They're too scared to scale up after that.
Very much so, Mark. Yes, I have run across business owners who said, "Oh, I've been there, done that." Especially when you're in a structuring process where you really need to get a general manager in. Some business owners have said, "Oh, I've already had a general manager, and that was a total, balls up for them." And the problem around that is that A, they didn't do the right hiring, and secondly, the clear definition of that role wasn't clearly communicated. And that to me is where the biggest challenges always lies, is that actual clear definition of a role within a business. But you're right, Mark, there are too many business owners out there that make that mistake, and they're not too scared to carry on.
Tibor, I've got a couple of one more question, really.
Sure, no worries.
So obviously, staff is an expensive issue for small and medium businesses if you get it wrong, and it can be expensive if you get it right as well. But what are two other issues that you see that really create major problems or stop small businesses from achieving what they want? What would they be?
The first one is getting your pricing strategy right. So in other words, you've got to make sure that the price of your product includes all the costs of your business, including your salary for your role, plus a profit for the business.
Does that mean I have to put TNG membership up?
Well, if you're not making a profit, mate, yes.
I don't do this for a profit. I do it for the people sitting in here. This is about giving back. There's plenty of other opportunities to make money, but I understand it. So pricing is very important.
So pricing is absolutely important. And then the second one is to make sure that when you've done the sale, that you actually collect your money. Now, I know that some small businesses deal with big corporates, and they've been put on the 60 or the 90-day pay waiting list because of because they can. That's where you as a small business owner have to make that decision whether or not you want to continue working with those big corporates, because a 90-day wait for your money is one of the most detrimental things in any business. So if you deliver services of any type of sort where there's a delay. So, for example, if you negotiate a contract for, let's say, accounting services, you should be able to say upfront, look, I'm charging you 50% upfront for an idea. Accounting might not be the 100% correct format, but you can charge about 50% upfront, and then you get the rest on delivery. Mark, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm getting talked to by the boss. Sorry, I have
sorry.
one more question. You
No
mentioned four things that we can work on in our business. If there's one thing that we can do today that will make the biggest change or give us the best bang for our buck in our businesses today, all of us, there's people that own automotive shops, there's people that are online, there's app people, there's, what is it?
Define your ideal customer and market to them. So, for example, for me, it's a business owner that's got a $2 million business plus, has 5 employees, and wants the change because they're frustrated by whatever they've created so far. That's the type of idea or the type of client that you have to decide upon, and then go out and start marketing towards it.
Very cool.
Yes, Melanie, you're also still muted. There we go.
So I've got a question.
Ooh, you too. You're also in the echoes.
Can you turn your volume off? I'll zip round to you.
There we go.
Perfect.
Sorry, technical
No
issues.
worries.
So you mentioned that you're available to have a chat to people to, do a little review of their business.
Yep.
I've got a question. Do you also help with that recruitment process? And if you don't, do you recommend that small businesses use a recruitment company or hire themselves?
Right. So there's a couple of things there. Yes, the chat is available in the sense that I go through probably about an hour to hour and a half session with the people, understand what it is that their business is all about. I ask very searching questions, and most people, when they walk away from it, say, wow, it's stuff that they never thought about. So yeah, like I said, that chat is available to anybody online, and it's free of charge. The other questions around recruitment. Yes, I have helped business owners identify clear roles, and I have helped them create the adverts for them. I've even sat in on some of the hiring as such, but it's not my core role. Coming back to whether you want to use recruiters or not, in my opinion, most recruiters are fly-by-number type people, and you wouldn't want to use them at all. If you find the right type of person, and I have contact with 1 or 2 people that I really trust to be able to do a good job around that, I would point my customers in that direction.
I have never met a business coach who hasn't had a good book or podcast to recommend. So I'm going to ask the same question to you.
Right. So actually, I don't do too many podcasts, but there's a book by John Spence, and I've got to think about the name about it right now. I will find it for you immediately. Just got to find it.
A lot of good reading out there.
I think it's called Awesome Business. Yeah.
Awesome Business.
Oh no, sorry, Awesomely Simple. Awesomely Simple. A lot of the stuff that I spoke about today is from that, but it's one of the best books that I've read about business and how to do things. Whether you're a corporate or whether you're a small business, if you can follow a lot of that, the stuff in the book of John Spence, awesome.
Great. Does anyone else have any final questions? If not, we will. Great, awesome.
Sorry, Tibor, what was the name of that book again, please?
Awesomely Simple.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you so much, Tibor. Really appreciate your time. What we'll do now is we'll just do a quick wrap around the room and as a business owner, introduce yourself or tell us what you do, and obviously what you got out of the meeting, and then we can go about our busy Fridays. So I'll start with Diane, if you want to go ahead. And remember to unmute yourself as well.
Yes, thanks. Thanks very much, Thibault. That was really, really good. Enjoyed that presentation. Lots of great pointers and reaffirmations of what we should be doing in business as well. So I'm Diane Costello from AppWorks, and we write apps to enhance the customer experience, essentially. So what we've recently done, I'd love to just tell you about that quickly, is we've created an app which will allow you to use your cell phone in order to cast to hotel rooms and motel rooms and camper vans through a device that you're connected to showcase any of the programs you are subscribed to, like Netflix or Scargo or any of those sort of things. Secure environment, also do mobile notifications, really enjoying, as you said, Thibault, just having to go out there and actually talk to motel owners. And, you know, you get a bit scared about doing this, you know, how are you going to be accepted? And so it's quite difficult, but, you know, you learn a lot from those experiences. Yeah, so that's us. Thank you.
Awesome. Wayne. I'll get you unmuted and then tell us about the...
Yeah. Hi, guys. Hi, Thibault. Thank you very much for that. I'm 1 year into having launched a business as an independent insurance broker, Thibault. I've been in management roles all my life and was a COVID casualty early last year. And I'm very excited to have launched as an insurance broker doing fire and general, working on contract to a company in Auckland called Cactus Insurance and Blanket Insurance. So it's been a massive year, but a very exciting year to have launched into a totally new industry and to be doing it at this end of my working life. In a sense, I know you all think I look about 30, but that's not the case. I would love an opportunity just to have a chat to you. I'm obviously working through the year. I've done a lot of marketing and really, in a sense, bought into that plan that, look, the business doesn't come to you. You've actually got to get out there and grab it. But yeah, 1 year into it, going really well, and slowly and surely building this business space for myself. But would appreciate a catch up with you at some stage.
No worries, mate. My phone is there, and
yep, lovely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Wayne. Joe. Got Joe there. Otherwise, we'll come back to you, Joe. Natalie?
You're still on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry, car travels. Thank you so much, Thibault. That was so interesting, and I so agree with what you're saying about staff that really enjoy their role. For me particularly, I love what I do, and I love just talking rubbish, so no pun intended. So thank you so much for that, and I'm definitely going to get that book. I've jotted it down, so I look forward to letting you know my thoughts on that. And then quickly, yeah, as I say, I'm Natalie from Junk to Go. I'm the relationship manager for the company, so my day pretty much just exists talking copious amounts of rubbish, and the fact that sometimes it comes really easy, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but nevertheless. But yeah, we don't just take, we give back to the community. And yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. Thank you.
What rubbish?
Oh, sorry. So any rubbish, our point of difference is that we come with our beautiful red shiny trucks. We do all the lifting and loading and all the hard work for you. So it's not like flexi bags or bins. Our guys are awesome. They're super efficient, super professional. They come to the premises, whether it's a rental property, office, house, restaurant, school, the list is endless, and they provide a free non-obligation quote. And then if the quote is accepted, they remove all the items right there and then, even provide a cleanup service. And as I say, all of our pre-loved items, we pop back into the community.
You see how clear that was? Now we understand what your rubbish is all about.
I know, sorry, I was going to go the long yards and then I got sidetracked with the book and I was like, whoa, okay. Thanks, Timo.
Ranga?
Still can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now.
Okay. Thank you all, Ranga. Thank you, Thibaut. That's really interesting what you said. Yeah, I totally agree to get the right people on your right people. That's most important. And now, what do we do? We local car doctors, we car mechanics. We call Auto Connection, and we base in Penrose as well as in Glennis. We do have 2 places, and we do everything in one place. For warrant, cough, tires, mechanical repairs, servicing, diesel, petrol, and electrical, electronics, air conditioning, tires, wheel alignment, and minor panel building. Actually, we are one-stop workshop, and we do provide free courtesy cars for customers. And the who best I'm looking for small to medium businesses who does a small fleet cars, and if you know anyone, please send on my way, and as well as the individual people who drive the cars. Ranga from Auto Connection. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Tim.
Oh yeah, Ken Jackson, the Mortgage Lab. Good morning. Helping people with their home loans is always rewarding when we get them there. But one area that I've been finding is people overseas are really challenged to get through the main banks. So that's been quite a good appreciation for that. So I'm enjoying working in that space. So people coming back from overseas or even staying over there, we can work through that. Ken Jackson, the Mortgage Lab.
Thanks, Ken. Gary.
Hi, good morning. Tibor, thanks again. It was a very interesting chat, even though I only got half of it. But I would like to take you up on that free session. So yeah, if I can get details from you from someone, Melanie, perhaps.
My number's on my screen.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, so I'm Gary from Rich & Co, and I design and build websites. I do branding and I do brochures. So I make businesses look beautiful. And I particularly specialize in startup businesses or small businesses where people don't have a huge budget, but they want something outstanding. So if you know somebody that's a startup and they need a website or they need a logo or they need a brochure, come to me and let's talk business. I'm sure we can help. Thank you.
Cool. Well, I'm Dan. I run Ingot, and we're also web design, but we're probably on that other end where businesses have been working, they've been growing, they've been in operation for a while, and they're needing that next step in their business. And people often forget about their website space needing to grow and evolve with their business. So that's the space that we work in, is figuring out what's that next step, what functionality do they need, what automation do they need, and then helping them in that web space to put that in. We do a bit of design as well, so we can make that functionality look pretty. But ideally, the sort of systems that we're working with, you know, our subscriptions, sites, large e-commerce. Just recently, we've been working with dealerships. So if you can think about secondhand goods, needing to pull in that information from all sorts of places around third-party systems, that sort of thing. Obviously, you know, large complex sites with lots of information that needs to be displayed well. So that's the stuff I love pulling my teeth out about. I really love it. I've got them all, so it hasn't been too stressful. But that's a space. So that's Ingot digital design for custom web. So thanks. And thanks, Tibor. Awesome. It's you can never get too much business coaching and advice. So really, really apt. Melanie, did you have anything to share?
Thanks, Dan. Firstly, I'd like to thank Tibor for speaking today. I don't know if you're all aware, but Tibor is an area group manager for the networking group and has two groups, one in East Tamaki and one in Central Eastern Suburbs. And as you can see from Tibor's presentation today, the calibre of business that Tibor is offering is absolutely outstanding. And it's an absolute pleasure for us to have him representing us in two groups. So thank you, really appreciate it. The other thing, there's a couple of things I just wanted to share. Firstly, Mark left today because of our technical issues, but he wanted me to share with you a book he's just finished. It's called The 12-Week Year. You're familiar with it, Tibor. He said he highly recommends it, and it advocates breaking projects down into 12 weeks. Yep. And why. It's to do with focus. He absolutely highly recommends that you read it if you're interested. If you want to know more information about it, just flick me a text or an email and I'll send it to you. The other thing I just wanted to pass on today is, as Dan said at the beginning, we've had some outstanding speakers and everyone is contributing in an educational and inspiring way to our members. So we really want to spread the word and communicate out and get more people on these amazing sessions. So firstly, Gary, that this session is being recorded and early next week I'll be uploading it onto our YouTube channel. So I'll share that recording with you and you can listen to it in its entirety. Please tell thank you. Yeah. Please tell your groups about the sessions and tell them about our YouTube channel so that people know there is a resource there that they can go back to should they be looking for a topic or a speaker. The other thing is I just wanted to introduce our next speaker is going to be Brent Norling from Norling Law. And for some of you will remember that Brent spoke about a year ago when we first launched this forum for TNG members. And he spoke about, well, he's a lawyer. He speaks about all sorts of really interesting things. So I thought it would be great to get him to come back and follow up on where we were at 12 months ago and where we're at now. He'll have lots of great statistics from the IRD about businesses and how New Zealand is doing 12 months on. The other thing he'll cover is governance and directors' risks and responsibilities. So for all of you who are directors in your business, it'll be a great session. So that's in a fortnight, 10 a.m. Friday. Thank you.
And then after that, we've got, oh, there's a bit of a reverb. Sorry about that. After that, we've got Rich Ellis, who's a lifestyle coach, right? And talking about workplace wellness. So really looking forward. There's some epic speakers coming up. So again, these sessions are recorded. So if you want to share it with your group or that sort of thing, just get in touch with Melanie and we can make that happen. Otherwise, we've finished a little bit early, so I can release you out into your world and enjoy your Friday. But otherwise, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And thanks again, Tibor. And we'll catch you all again in a fortnight.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Cheers.
Okay,
bye.
Bye.